we had, I don't know, pandemic time. It could have been 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, sometime prior to now, we had a conversation talking about strategy, talking about the edibles market, specifically on sort of soft chews and gummies. Talk about how sort of you guys have been thinking about the market as you started and sort of where you are now from a strategy perspective, because I think that helps frame the conversation.
Yeah, and thanks for having me, Jay. Appreciate it. It's great to get reconnected. So from a company strategy perspective, when we spoke last time, like Dynaleo was really focused on being a white label contract manufacturer. And the idea was to secure contracts with, large licensed producers or branding companies who had product in market or wanted to put product in market. And we could just white label it and be an invisible manufacturer in the background. Somewhere on the way to the party, things changed a little bit. Things changed in the industry. Things changed for the situation that a lot of licensed producers were in. And we very quickly realized that we needed to pivot. And so we started creating our own brands, both for the recreational sales, so our Sun Shower brand, and now Pocket Fives, which we added to it. And then on the wellness side, so our DynaThrive CBD lines are there. So whereas we thought we would have maybe a small amount of branded product and be vast majority contract manufacturer, that model has been entirely flipped on its head.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously you guys look at it more closely than I do, but even just on shelf, or what equates for shelf at stores here in Ontario, like the market has really expanded a lot. I think even outpacing, store counts, right? Like it's taking up more and more market share, but also people are attracted to this category that you guys are producing in, and it's interesting to sort of see it grow, and also different verticals within it, right? There's like the sweet and sour gummy components that we sort of have come to know and love. There's the sort of addition of functional ingredients like you guys have in DynaThrive. There's the multi-pack, smaller dosage, which didn't even exist a year and two ago. Like do you have sort of a big whiteboard and chalk where everything is and like try to fill gaps, and like leading in some categories too? Because I think your apple cider vinegar was probably the first one like that on the market on the CBD side.
Yeah, it's incredible the way the category has grown. So if you look at a market like Alberta, our home market, there's well over 100 different gummy SKUs that are being carried. I think it's pushing 80 to 90 at the OCS. You see a similar story out there in BC, and you're seeing, like you said, like the category's really expanded. So when the first entrance into the category came in, everybody was making like a 2-pack of pectin gummies. Each one of them had 5 milligrams of THC. And that was kind of it. You didn't really have a lot of options. So, like I would like to say that producers were producing based on their operating capacity, not really where the consumer really wanted the product to be. And so you fast forward to today, and you're right, we led the way on some of this. So not only using apple cider vinegar as an ingredient, but that was also the country's first large format. So we were putting 30 gummies in a package when everybody else was constrained at this 2 and this 4. Now you keep fast forwarding again. So today, we've got 10-pack gummies in some of our markets. We've got this amazing blood orange ratio product, that we're selling in Alberta, seem to be selling in BC. And so now you're down to the micro dosing level. And so consumers now, and I think it's fantastic for them, they have a choice. You can have anything, depending on the market you're in, from 1 milligram of THC up to a one piece with 10 milligrams of THC, or 2s with 5s, or 4s with 2.5. It's just that what prompts that furthers category growth again, because you're starting to get what consumers want in consumers' hands, not just what you can produce for them.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you said. It's from a consumer perspective and someone who loves this category, like the variety is very compelling, whereas it certainly wasn't at the beginning of legalization or when sort of edibles came on shelves, the 2.0 products. But now there is variety of products, dosage, flavors. I call them, like, this is not what you call them, or should we call them like the kids version of gummies, like what people with a sweet tooth want, and then like the elevated experience for like a more grown up, and then there's the vegan options which you guys produce, and I just think and I wonder, sort of in your view, we are this long into legalization 2.0 products, but like how far and how fast like, and where does the category go next? And like, have you seen the future in California and Colorado going to replicate that here?
Yeah, so the future, first of all, points very clearly to a much larger segment of the market being owned by edibles, and specifically gummies with it. But you're right, it's not going to happen based on just companies putting out more and more of the same with just under a different flavor. So you need to have expanded use cases for it. And I think where we're seeing it, like, quite clearly, I know where we're seeing it happening right now, the next evolution appears to be around minor cannabinoids. So you're seeing CBN popping up in some gummies. I imagine it's only a matter of time before you start seeing CBG popping into gummies, and you're going to start to see, so that gets expanded out. That expands the use cases, and that expands the addressable market. So we see where that's going. We also think that there's the wellness side of this market is untapped. There's a couple entrants, that are out there, that focus on CBD. In addition to the apple cider flavor that we have, we launched a pomegranate Dynaleo CBD, and very quickly it became, one of the top 3 or 4 selling SKUs, through the OCS, and customers just can't seem to get enough of it. And we think that's because, again, you're seeing these use cases expanded. So, when everybody thought about, 2.0 coming in, it was like, how do I make somebody a gummy, that'll get them high so that they can go ahead and watch a movie. Right. Well, today it's about, like, how do I get my mom some pain relief? How do I give somebody, that microdose so that they don't necessarily want to be, stuck in their couch all day, but they want to be on the beach, having a good time, walking around, walking their dog, doing safe things, but, using the product responsibly. And so that's where it's going. It's about expanding those use cases and making sure you've got the products, available to do it.
It's like the best pandemic parent hack there is, really. Low dose, low dose gummies. I don't want to get away from this conversation without sort of getting a glimpse, not visually, but like, tell us about the facility, because I think maybe even the first time we talked, the facility wasn't open or just open. Tell us about the footprint of the facility and sort of the capacity, because I think it's like Willy Wonka met cannabis, met sort of high grade food production facility.
Yeah, we're very proud of our facility, and extremely proud of all the people that helped us build it and that are working there now. We've got a tremendous staff there just outside of Edmonton in Nisku. It's a 26,000 square foot facility. It's purpose built. Our sole product that we produce are gummies. And we have the ability to produce hundreds of millions of individual pieces on an annual basis. So far exceeding, what the market currently looks like today, but very much focused on where we think this market is going just organically. And then if there's some regulatory changes at some point, which, broadens the distribution of CBD the way it has in the States, or perhaps there's regulation that increases the 10 milligram THC limit, then we're ideally set up, to be able to capitalize on what that could look like and the additional distribution that it would bring.
Yeah, well, from your mouth to Health Canada's ears, because I think on all those things you just mentioned, like dosage, package, like all those things, all the things we talked about at the beginning of the conversation, that just expands it further, not infinitely, but it really does change the dynamic in this sort of vertical a lot, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And so, like you said, we very much try to be predictors of the future and align ourselves, with where all that's going. But in the meantime, we've got lots of work, and we're doing great work and carving out our little niche, in this as an independent, in a field that's becoming increasingly populated by large companies who are looking to compete in the segment and are competing effectively.
I always appreciate the time. Thank you for talking through strategy, the products, but also the future and where you guys go. So I appreciate the time. We look forward to connect with you sort of 3 or 6 months hence to hear all the latest updates from you guys. But thanks for your time. We'll connect with you down the road.
Okay, you got it. Thanks a lot.
That was Michael Krestell. He is the Executive Chairman of Dynaleo. If you like this program, please rate and review us wherever you heard the show. It helps support the work we do. We're able to do what we do because of our ongoing partners, including Alterna Savings, Cannabis at Work, Cannabis Benchmarks, Can Delta, Gallagher, Headset, and Torque and Main. Find out all that we do at businessofcannabis.com.